Buckle your seatbelts, boys and girls. We have another swiped quote with an explanation behind it from yours truly, me, Justin McDonald. I mean, this quote specifically, first of all, it's from Dan Kennedy. Also, it's from his $1,000,000 Renegade system. Yeah. And what he was saying that I noted is that your most formidable competition remains you. Whether Walmart or Amazon or anybody else waltzes into town. And to take it a step further, because this book and this system was obviously written before COVID times, you can also, in my opinion, throw COVID-19 after Walmart and Amazon, right? Because what do you see in the pattern? I know a lot of you are saying, well, Walmart has killed a lot of businesses. Amazon has killed a lot of businesses. And I think that's a false statement because equally, Walmart, especially, when a Walmart comes into town, sometimes something magical happens and other businesses actually do benefit from it. It's just a hungry crowd with money in their pocket, and fast food joints in all different places, Dollar Trees, all that stuff, they might fare pretty well being right next to a Walmart, just because they're not really chasing the same dollar, but they're the same clientele might pop over to XYZ chicken place or some diner or movie theater, Cineplex. So Amazon too is, if you are a business, you could actually utilize Amazon as part of your delegating and part of your outsourcing and part of your, well, sometimes in certain businesses, I mean, you could use other like eBay and stuff like that too, but all that stuff is sometimes a good resource to have for small business. So it's almost like you're like businesses can almost like ride off the coattails. Just want to make sure we're still going live, and we are. Okay, I do that periodically because this is kind of rinky dink. Um, I I just kind of put this together. I'm sitting in a different chair this time, so if I'm slouching a little bit, it's because it's kind of a comfy chair. Um, Now, when people blame Walmart, when people blame Amazon, when people blame COVID-19, what they're really doing is they're basically saying that they're lazy. Um, Not lazy people. They're probably really hardworking, good people. It's the marketing is where they're lazy. It's the marketing is where a lot of people are lazy, and that's why they blame things like, oh, the pandemic, oh, Walmart, oh, you know, 10, 20 years ago it was the internet, oh, because of the internet, or it's social media, or it's eBay. It's always something. It's always somebody. I love that though. How Dan says your most formidable competition um, remains you, no matter what. because a lot of times too, you stand in your own way. We can get to that another time, but like that's important to think about too. Secondly, secondly, think about different pet food suppliers. Think about different places that sell clothes, different places that fix cars or sell cars. What is essential in marketing is when you could tap into your USP, your unique selling proposition, and really take whatever product or take a product that your main flagship product and now see if there's a way you could diversify your own product, squeeze more juice out of it, and provide other related services. So that way, let's say you mow lawns. Why not be, instead of just a landscaper, like a lawn specialist, right? Where you could do all these different things. Or even like a one-stop pet shop place, right? Where instead of just having cat and dog food, they might have a small selection of pets. They might have all different hard to get cat and dog food. They might have like a clinic there, or like they can get their shots. Maybe they have an adoption thing or something. Car places can do that too. Instead of just like selling cars or just selling car parts, maybe they can service cars and have all these other things related to vehicles that they could provide. So they could be more like an auto specialist. Hey, somebody that's selling even like MLM stuff, like fitness products or supplements, right? People still sell supplements. Instead of just being the supplement guy, instead of just being the fitness equipment queen, why not be like a fitness coach or specialist where they're also going to you because you were positioning yourself almost as a sense of, almost as like a position of authority, I guess you can say. And you're providing other services around just selling the product. Maybe there's like a coaching program, or there's some kind of fitness program that they can follow, or a diet chart or something. Like, just the more you can like add different value to that product and like differentiate it from just being, well, here's the product and here's the price, the better off you'll be. So if you're out there just selling a product and it's just based on price, this is where this quote makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because of what I just said. Your problem might not be what you think it is. It might just be, well, some people might look at you, or whoever is business they're trying to help, they might look at the person that works there, the person that has been running the show, I guess you can say, the people that have been running the show there for X number, let's say years. If somebody's been in business for years and they're getting a lot of repeat customers, chances are they're in a different kind of business. And I think that's the kind of business, I know Dan Kennedy would call like the relationship business, where they're getting customers basically for life, or at least life of the business. And they have a very special way of maintaining that relationship. And if it's not through storytelling, it's because the customer has a story to tell, and it's almost like our mechanics are like therapists too, in a weird way. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, go dump all your problems onto your mechanic like it's Dr. Phil or Oprah. No, I'm saying like, when you get a good mechanic, they like, it's like they, like, you have somebody on your team, somebody that's kind of like looking out for you, and a lot of times they're willing to like do some extra things, save you a few dollars here and there, give you some tips, all that kind of stuff. And like, where I'm going with that is going back into that relationship business. It's not like you're going to Jiffy Lube or Meineke, sorry, but any of those other corporate places, sorry, not sorry, and they just kind of like, bottom line, treat you like a number. Let's find things broken, break them if we need to, maybe, I don't know, and tell the customer or prospect, scare them into getting all these things done. Whereas your local mechanic that actually cares about you might be like, hey, I mean, to be honest, you could probably go a few thousand miles or a few hundred miles with that until it starts making a lot of noise, and then you can call us. Like, you see what I mean? Like, some mechanics are cool like that. They're just like, like, well, you should get that fixed, but you could probably wait until your next oil change or something when you come back in. So, like, they also are really clever at selling the next oil change. My mechanic sells me on every oil change because it's like, some people, yeah, it makes more sense and it's a little bit cheaper to do it at home. And they don't want other people messing with their car. I understand that. But for me, somebody that like doesn't really want to put in extra time into my car, especially when I'm driving, I sure as heck want somebody else to go do it for 30, $40. My mechanic might charge a little bit more. But you know what? He's cool. A lot of mechanics do that too. Like, they might also be like, I care about this person. They might see something else that just doesn't look right and they might bring it up. Do you know how much that's worth? Every single penny and dollar they're charging me more than the other guys. I don't care. What is that, a handful of dollars? So if I have a tire that's about to go, if I have a belt that's about to go, if they see some fluid in there that's leaking or needs to be topped off, they're in the relationship business. See what I mean? They would rather not take a rush job, and they would rather basically be serving their friends and community. So if you're like a jerk there and you're just like, bah, 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 I need this really quick, they might not get to it. I don't know, intentionally or not, but they're not, I like that though. They're more into the relationship business. They really, and that's probably what keeps them going every day. I don't want to mess with that. Why would anyone want to mess with that? They're like, we want to serve this town, its people, its surrounding towns, our friends. And it's like, they don't need to do any advertising. It's all word of mouth. It's all referrals. A lot of it is referrals. I don't think they've ever had an advertisement. I don't think they would need one either, because, I mean, if I know somebody that lives in the area that needs their car fixed and isn't somebody that's like in a super rush and maybe has like an older model car too, not like an older model, but like not like the newest car, like maybe like 5 years older or more, and just wants to get like simple things done or whatever, I would 100% send them over. And the key is that's what a lot of other people did too. That's what a lot of people are doing. So like, this is a very valuable thing, and I don't want to go too far into this because I don't know if I can get in trouble. I was thinking maybe I could share a couple renegade millionaire secrets that tie into this quote. However, I don't know if Dan Kennedy or who owns Dan Kennedy's stuff now, Russell Brunson. I don't know if they would be too happy if I just shared all the secrets. But I will share a couple of them. I will share a few of them because I don't know. Let's just see what happens. So one thing that we're we're talking about Walmart and Amazon coming into town, or God forbid, pandemic happens or whatever. You want to make sure that you are equipped with certain business tactics, philosophies, systems, processes. So again, you can kind of be more in that like relationship business. Like I was giving you an example of that mechanic. So it's definitely your ability to stand out and raise your status is huge. And to give you one more secret is showing up alone. You want to show up alone. And what that means too is one more secret. I know it's in this system, but I'm going to say anyways, is being in an environment that's conducive to business, that's conducive to work. Um, and sometimes certain trade shows aren't the best. Sometimes they are the best. Sometimes they aren't the best to make the sale. It's like the best time to like capture the lead, and then now in their email inbox or their fax or their voicemail or in their mailbox, they will be getting some form of advertisement, direct response, ad, whatever it could be, and that's how you show up alone. So, like, this isn't one of the Renegade secrets. This will be one of my secrets. Is and thanks for listening or watching, by the way. So, because of that, I'm gonna give you a little treat. And I know you're gonna say that this is like crazy, but I don't think it is. If you can utilize the mail, the postal system, if you can utilize FedEx, if you can utilize a fax machine, if you can utilize a fax machine in your business, those are two really good ways to show up alone, especially in 2023 now. I mean, a lot of you are saying, wow, I don't even know if I have a fax machine. Well, hey, maybe your parents got one. Um, your neighbor offices have them. Staples or Kinko's or whatever, like whatever's like a Staples near you probably has fax services. Um, you can do some damage. I'm saying as far as getting your message across brilliantly by showing up alone. That's what Dan Kennedy means in his Renegade Millionaire system. I'm pretty sure. Another way too is mailbox. Showing up alone in the mailbox. Now, just to tie this off, I know I've heard this in another magnetic marketing something from Dan Kennedy. It had to do with selling to different ethnicities. And this is a great one for anybody that's selling to like basically not just Americans, people that are selling to people that just in different languages and stuff like that, different language barriers and different ethnicities, different countries. When you're dealing with when you're that first of all, good idea, good for you. Every and any business is basically leaving money on the table because they're only serving people that they think are their buyers. We'll get into that some other time. But a lot of people that don't just speak and read English, they don't get a lot of mail in America. Believe it or not. So people that are Spanish speaking and affluent to reading, or French or German or Russian or any other country or Asian country or whatever, you can show up alone. I mean, you have to be good though. I mean, your business should and could be a good fit for them. There, people, everybody, not just Americans, buy stuff, and also you got to do more than just speak their language. I will give you that tip too, because you need to have somebody, whether it's you or somebody in your sales force, somebody in your sales team that not only can speak the other ethnicity's language or country's language, they also need to be a very good salesperson. And by being a good salesperson, they need to at least be like affluent to the behavior of the language they're speaking, and they need to know what their lifestyle is like, and they also need to know what marketing and sales is like, because it's very easy to screw that all up. And I just remember an example. I don't know if it was Bill Glazer or Dan Kennedy one time talking about, I think it was like a Domino's or a Pizza Hut or one of those places. They were doing some kind of a promotion for like a free pizza or something like that, and they thought they were clever by writing the same exact ad in Spanish and sending it and sending it to all people with Spanish sounding last names. Kind of brilliant, actually, in some aspects, right? Like, okay, well, I guess that makes sense, right? And they did it, and it kind of worked. But here's where it went wrong. See, they got the ads. They got the ads in their mailbox. They showed up alone, which was smart, because they were like, ooh, free pizza or whatever. Call Domino's, call Pizza Hut. Free. And when they called, nobody that picked up the phone even knew how to speak Spanish. Or even if they did, they didn't know like the sales process to like talk them through to order anything. So they just took all that money all those customers that they could have gotten by their sneaky little trick of making the same ad in Spanish and sending it to all people with Spanish sounding last names, right? Kind of worked. They did respond because they showed up alone. But see what I mean? They didn't have people answering the phone that could speak Spanish, and not only speak Spanish, but coherently speak Spanish, like lingo for business. In this case, it was Domino's, but still, they didn't even have the right, proper like people to answer the phone. Not even, I don't even know that. I guess that they just didn't have anyone that could speak Spanish even, so they just had all these people calling out or speaking Spanish, and they couldn't take their order. So if you do decide to market to people that are not speaking the same language, just keep that in the back of your mind. It definitely is money on the table. There is a way to show up alone, but just remember when they do respond, you need to have a system in place. Could be you, could be anybody. It could be a robot front, it could be a bot, it could be AI technology. That's okay. That's okay. I just gave you $1 million tip right there. That's not even in the book. Just, you know what I mean? Just make sure that you have a system in place that can take the order efficiently, just like if they were speaking our language. And, hey, even if you got a few customers or one or two customers out, that's a win. It works. I mean, your advertising dollars can go like really far, and you could do very well if you try that out. So that's all I have to say for you today. I'm really glad that you're listening and watching, and go make that money. Peace be with you.